Good morning, everyone. Please rise, if you are able, as Grand Marshal Ana Diaz-Rue, Distinguished University Professor of Epidemiology, and former Dana and David Dornsife, Dean of the Dornsife School of Public Health, carries the Drexel University Mace in honor of her leadership and numerous contributions to the school and to Drexel as Dean. The procession will follow. Please remain standing as the national anthem is sung by Shel Podol, product design major in the class of 2026.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Good morning. Please be seated. As Provost, it's an absolute pleasure to see all of you here today. Welcome to our students, faculty, professional staff, as well as our trustees. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy days to be here with us. University leaders, and our special guests from Salus University. We're really excited to our colleagues at Salus. We're really excited about our partnership with you and thrilled you could join us. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our newest dragons, including over 5,600 undergraduate and graduate students who are joining our community this year. And I hope you've all had a chance just to walk across campus this week. There's an amazing energy that these students are bringing to campus, and it's just tremendous to feel that. I would like to acknowledge the newest members of our academic leadership who are on stage with us today. Arudis Foster, Interim Dean of the School of Education. And Gina Lavasi, Interim Dean of the Dornsife School of Public Health. So Arudis and Gina, thank you so much for your leadership. I also want to recognize two of our outgoing deans. Former Dean Ana Diaz-Rue, who stepped down at the end of August, is carrying the mace today in recognition of her 10 years as inaugural Dean of the Dornsife School of Public Health. As Distinguished University Professor of Epidemiology, she is continuing her innovative work, directing the Drexel Urban Health Collaborative and leading the NIH-funded Drexel First program, to name just a couple of her contributions. Anna, thank you so much for your leadership. I also, of course, want to recognize Dean Danuta Nateki, who this week announced that at the end of the fall term, she is stepping down as Dean of the University Libraries before retiring. Danuta, thank you for all that you have done for Drexel and for 14 years of leading the libraries. I've really appreciated your leadership and partnership, and we wish you all the best in your next adventures. Thank you, Danuta. Lastly, I want to acknowledge my colleague, Dr. Kevin Owens, for his service as chair of Faculty Senate. Kevin is truly an advocate for Drexel and for the faculty, and has been a great partner in numerous projects with my office in recent years. So Kevin, thank you. Round of applause for Kevin. Today's event is about reconnecting to our mission as an institution and the people, all of you, who bring that mission to life through your work. There is incredible work happening here at Drexel. Over the past year and a half, my office has led an initiative to help define for the first time the areas in which Drexel has built considerable strength in our research and teaching. Areas that cut across colleges, schools, and disciplines. At the same time, we looked externally to understand areas in which we could grow strategically to better meet the needs of our students, our partners, and society. Through this data-informed process and many, many conversations, we came to define the Drexel areas of excellence and opportunity, affectionately known as AEOs for our Salus colleagues. Everything at Drexel has an acronym. You'll learn that clearly very, very quickly. So the AEOs, 10 areas ranging from health equity, urban futures, sustainability and climate resilience, to AI and cybersecurity, and more. These areas do not exist separately from the characteristics that define us: experiential learning, civic engagement, innovation and entrepreneurship, external partnership, and so on. Rather, they provide opportunities to build upon and integrate these characteristics to create even greater impact. Our keynote speakers today are wonderful examples of how those strengths lead to real-world impact. They exemplify all of the great things we say about ourselves, that we are experiential, we are civically engaged, connected to partners and societal needs, and an urban Carnegie-classified R1 research university. They demonstrate that real impact happens outside the disciplinary boundaries. When it comes to the complex global issues they are seeking to address, each of them acknowledge that they cannot do it alone. The same can be said about the challenges facing Drexel and higher education more broadly. The perspectives and tools that bridge our respective disciplines, the diverse backgrounds of our faculty, students, and professional staff. We need all of these to continue to evolve and thrive as an institution. That means doing a better job of bringing people together to amplify the impact of our work. Over the past year, we began some initial efforts to bring people together in select AEOs aligned with immediate funding opportunities, and we'll be expanding these efforts this year. Ultimately, AEOs are one strategy, among others across colleges and schools, to bring focus and to surface the great work that is already being done across the university. We want to create more impact in the areas that bring our identity to life as a problem-solving research institution that is connected to partner and societal needs. I look forward to doing this work alongside all of you in the coming year. Now, it is my honor to welcome President John Fry to the podium.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our convocation ceremony. It's so good to see all of you as we begin this academic year on several high notes, starting with new arrivals to our community. Drexel is so proud to welcome 84 highly talented scholar, educators, and practitioners into the faculty ranks of our schools, colleges, and institutes. They bring high energy, fresh thinking, and a great deal of expertise to all of Drexel's areas of excellence and opportunity, and especially health innovation, health equity and wellness, advanced materials and manufacturing, computing, AI, and cybersecurity, sustainability and climate resilience, and urban futures. We also welcome to Drexel more than 2,930 new undergraduates from all backgrounds and parts of the country and world. They are an exceptionally talented and diverse class with boundless potential to parlay their Drexel experience into a life filled with purpose and high achievement. I also welcome members of our exceptionally committed and generous Board of Trustees, Chair Rich Greenewalt, Vice Chair Stan Silverman, Angela Dowd Burton, David Geltzer, Jerry Martin, and Steve Scheller, and Academy of Natural Sciences Trustee Latasha Harling. Let's give them all a round of applause. And finally, please join me in welcoming Salus University Board Chair Rebecca Delia, President Michael Miniman, and their colleagues to our Drexel family. When our merger with Salus is finalized next year, Drexel will be able to offer our students and faculty the fullest array of opportunities in the health sciences and health professions, all of which are in critical demand to our society. I also want to take a moment to thank Ana Diaz-Rue for a decade of exemplary leadership and service as Dean of the Dana and David Dornsife School of Public Health. During her time at the helm, the school ascended into the top ranks of schools of public health, advanced our university's anti-racism work, and earned national and worldwide recognition as a global leader in urban health and health equity. So let's give another round of applause to Ana. And Anna leaves the leadership of the school in the very capable hands of Interim Dean Dr. Gina Lavasi. Gina, thank you for taking on this additional responsibility. The global recognition of the talent within the School of Public Health continues with the breaking news of a $20 million NIH grant awarded to Professors Amy Carroll Scott and Jan Eberth on the topic of advancing health equity through innovative community capacity building, data science, and delivering community-centered structural interventions and outcomes, Drexel's Compass Coordinating Center. Congratulations to Amy and to Jan and to all those who were involved in this incredible achievement. We just concluded a year full of impressive academic accomplishments, exciting new developments, and signs of Drexel's progress. First, Drexel had another strong year in research. Research expenditures are projected to be approximately $150 million as faculty at Drexel and the Academy of Natural Sciences continue to make important discoveries and win major awards and contracts. There were literally scores of standout research achievements. For example, Professor Yuri Gagotsi, the director of the A.J. Drexel Nanomaterials Institute, is co-principal investigator on the NSF-funded Center for Vaccine Synthesis, Tunability, and Reactivity project. These materials, which Yuri and his colleagues discovered at Drexel in 2011, could play a critical role in delivering more clean energy as we confront the global climate emergency. I am also tremendously proud of the work of Dr. Diana Robbins and her team at the A.J. Drexel Autism Institute, which has won a very prestigious and extremely competitive $10 million NIH Autism Centers of Excellence Award. Only 5 universities in the country have received more than one ACE award, and Drexel has received 3 of them. Diana, congratulations. And I am equally proud of the research achievements of our students. At the March annual conference of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, for which Drexel served as the host institution, our students dominated the student research poster competition for the 2nd straight year against their peers from MIT, Harvard, Penn, the University of Chicago, Carnegie Mellon, Rice, and Georgetown. Of a total of 36 honors, our undergraduate and graduate students won 10 first-place awards and seven honorable mentions. Let's give them a round of applause. It's impossible for me to do justice to the range and impact of the exciting and high-impact research activity at Drexel. But the summer issue of Drexel's biennial research publication, Excel Magazine, comes pretty close. It includes stories of the many Drexel faculty and students who are producing groundbreaking innovations, inventions, and discoveries in STEM and across all of the arts and sciences. I strongly encourage you to read it. It will make all of you very, very proud of our university. Drexel has also benefited from welcome changes in national rankings, which now focus more heavily on student outcomes. For example, the 2024 U.S. News & World Report rankings overhauled its methodology to eliminate input metrics such as class size, high school class standing, and alumni giving in favor of new criteria, such as first-generation student graduation rates and college graduate earnings, which more closely align with Drexel's commitment to broad access and student success. As a result, Drexel's position in the U.S. News rankings improved by 7 spots overall to 98th place and by 8 spots to 50th place among private research universities. And I am also pleased that we improved by 16 places in the peer assessment of our academic reputation. We should also be proud of Drexel's strong showing in the Wall Street Journal College Pulse inaugural rankings of best colleges and universities, which focuses more heavily on student outcomes and the learning environment. Of the 400 colleges and universities that were included, Drexel ranked 54th overall and 37th among comprehensive research universities with R1 and R2 designations. We believe we'll continue to climb in national rankings as we keep providing the things that matter most to students: a welcome and supportive learning environment, and a rewarding experience that prepares them for a lifetime of success and personal fulfillment. But more important, by putting our students first, we will continue to attract and graduate large numbers of great future scholars, professionals, and leaders from all backgrounds. And on that score, we are off to a promising start. At a time when so many colleges and universities are struggling to stave off sharp declines in enrollment, we currently are exceeding our undergraduate enrollment target by well over 100 students. We also strengthened academic advising and counseling services through a reimagined academic resource center that will help ensure that all of our students, including first-generation and Pell Grant-eligible students, will succeed and thrive at Drexel. This was in part our response to last year's dip in our first-year retention rate, which reflected learning loss during the pandemic. Now, I'm happy to report that we are back on track to retain more than 90% of last year's entering class. That, of course, is a testament to the diligence and resilience of our students. But it's also a testament to the hard work of everyone who is vested in our students' success. And I especially want to recognize Rebecca Weidensall, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Success, for her leadership in launching our Academic Resource Center. Let's give Rebecca a big round of applause. And I have more good news. Trustee Pat McGonigal just made $100 million, oh boy, I wish it was $100 million, but $1 million gift, which is a really good gift. You see how I think. He just made $1 million gift to support the great work of Rebecca and her team at the Academic Resource Center. He was really moved by what he saw, and he made that decision on the spot. Let's thank Pat for that great gift. If you see Pat, tell him he's got 99 to go. In addition, we raised $77 million in gifts this past year, much of which will support student scholarships and programmatic innovation. Major gifts included a $10 million gift from the Wilbur C. and Betty Lee Henderson Foundation to establish the Henderson Real Estate Institute in the LeBeau College of Business, a $2.5 million pledge from alumnus Barry Silk to establish endowed scholarship funds in the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Computing and Informatics, and a $1.875 million gift from the Howley Family Foundation to support scholarships for West Catholic prep students enrolling in engineering at Drexel. We also made significant headway on the financial front. As I reported to the Board of Trustees yesterday, Drexel ended the 2023 fiscal year with an overall increase in net assets of $38.4 million and a favorable variance of $41 million to our budget, thanks to Helen Bowman and her team for a ton of hard work. So, even as we celebrate our collective achievements and progress, we know that our university faces significant challenges in the years ahead. As we work diligently and thoughtfully to close the structural deficit, the national enrollment pool is shrinking and the competition for students is intensifying. In response, we have moved to rethink our academic structure and to pursue strategies for stabilizing our finances and building our financial margin in the short term and ensuring our competitiveness and sustainability in this new environment. Our 2030 strategic plan will continue to drive current and future enrollment success, to strengthen research, and to find new markets and revenue sources. It played a key role in piloting online graduate programs, launching the Academic Resource Center, and laying the groundwork for our merger with Salus. And it will continue to help guide our work around areas of excellence and opportunity and execute a strategy for reaching $250 million in research expenditures by the end of the decade. We are also collaborating with faculty on an ambitious academic restructuring effort. We will institute strong core competency requirements and enhance collaboration across academic units and disciplines to make it easier for our students to double major and to study abroad in greater numbers. We are also examining whether a semester-based academic calendar might better support our students and enhance the already excellent relationships we have with our major co-op employers. And we are determined to end bureaucratic policies, processes, and business practices that thwart collaboration and really hold our university back. And finally, we are set to follow a 5-year roadmap to financial stability and market competitiveness that will allow us to meet our goals for generating new revenues, eliminating unnecessary expenses, and aligning our entire enterprise around the areas of excellence and opportunity. All of our work on the academic and operational fronts will allow us first to focus on what Drexel is good at and good for, and second, to ensure that we continually get better at what we do. We will share further details and updates on these initiatives in the coming weeks. And throughout this work, we will continue to place a premium on keeping all members of our community informed and engaged as we seek your constructive input. I know changes on this scale are challenging, but this university has an amazing capacity for innovation, collaboration, and partnership to solve problems and to reinvent itself into an even more powerful force for higher education and the greater public good. This capacity is baked into our university's culture. A century ago, in the midst of another global pandemic and the wake of World War I's devastation, Drexel created a co-op program that would meet the needs of our students and the post-war economy. Today, the co-op is the backbone of Drexel's universally admired model of experiential learning, not to mention our thriving relationships with employers in the city and all over the world that empowers our students to discover their paths and purpose towards fulfilling careers and meaningful lives. In recent years, we have pulled together to solve other serious problems and crises. In every instance, we emerged stronger than before. And we never stopped innovating and problem solving and building our campus and the University City ecosystem. I am extremely confident that we will work through this challenging period and come out stronger and better for it. In the meantime, let's keep bringing the best out of one another and have another productive and successful year. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you, President Fry. It is now my pleasure to introduce the first of our 3 keynote speakers. Each of our keynote speakers is guided by a sense of purpose and deep commitment to broad impact through research, teaching, and community engagement. Their stories serve as an inspiring reminder of what makes our work so meaningful and uniquely Drexel. Our first speaker, Rachel Lopez, is an associate professor of law, director of the Andy and Gwen Stern Community Lawyering Clinic, and a current fellow in law, ethics, and public policy at Princeton University. She's coming back, don't worry. Focusing her research on state responsibility for mass atrocity, transitional justice in the carceral state, she has pioneered the new genre of participatory law scholarship, which is written in collaboration with those who have lived experience in the judicial system. Please join me in welcoming Professor Lopez.
I'm a little shorter. Today I've been invited to share with you a story of research, service, and teaching that is uniquely Drexel. Indeed, I don't believe that this story could be told at any other institution. It is a story of how I've sought to meet the ambitious call to action by our president, John Fry, to be the most civically engaged university in the country. It starts during the heart of the pandemic when an unconventional idea for a research partnership took shape. As Provost Jensen mentioned, I direct a legal clinic at the Dornsife Center for Neighborhood Partnerships, where law students get real-world experience while also serving our neighbors in the surrounding community. We, my students and I, have been working with a group of incarcerated men to promote the recognition of a right to redemption, a concept collectively conceived of by the group as a human right. This right was grounded in the group's belief in the capacity to atone as part of an innate part of the human condition, and a belief that this should be reflected in the law. Unable to meet because of a prolonged prison lockdown, we searched for another way to carry this work forward. Doing other research, I learned that the right to redemption, the right that was first articulated by this group of men, was also reflected in human rights case law. And so I proposed writing a law review article that would essentially situate this right within existing case law and argue that it should be incorporated into existing US law. And so it was that our article, Redeeming Justice, was born. It was an article that was forged through countless 2,000-character messages via the prison messaging portal and 15-minute monitor calls that one of my co-authors made in the 30 minutes when he was permitted to be outside of his cell. What I didn't know at the time was that the article would usher in a new partnership which would push the bounds of what legal scholarship and teaching traditionally look like, and ultimately culminate in the liberation of one of my co-authors, Terrell Carter, who we affectionately call Rel. For Rel, it makes me emotional just to even say it. For Rel, the story starts much earlier. Rel grew up only a stone's throw from Drexel's campus and remembers feeling like there were invisible walls surrounding Drexel's campus that excluded people that looked like him from admission. Other institutions that were a mile away, like the State Correctional Institute in Graterford, where Rel would spend most of his adult life, felt much closer. Paradoxically, behind the walls of institutions like Drexel, academics like me would shape ideas that would determine Rel's fate and define his lived experience behind other more visible walls. Over the past decade, Drexel's efforts to redefine community engagement would help break down some of these walls, paving the way for a new type of community partnership that I believe is key to forming a more just and equitable society. I first met Rel at a state prison outside of Philadelphia when I started Drexel, now nearly a decade ago, hard to believe. He was leading a training on community-based learning that was organized by the Lindy Center for Civic Engagement. And it was at this training that I first heard of the right to redemption, the concept that was later the basis for our law review article. Later on, that partnership took a different shape when my clinic supported him for his petition for a commutation of his life without parole sentence. In fact, one of the most memorable moments I have as a lawyer is the day when the Board of Pardons unanimously voted to recommend his commutation, and part of the reason why he's here today. That day, I was surrounded by my students and community members at the Dornsife Center, all who supported Rel's release. When the vote came down, we embraced, grown men and women cried, and others stood there shocked in disbelief that Rel was coming home. One of my students looked at me and said, "It feels like now anything is possible." I realized that somewhere along the way I had lost that feeling. A feeling that would come again after we were awarded an international award for Best Socio-Legal Article in 2022. The day before I accepted this award in Portugal, Governor Wolf officially commuted Rel's sentence, and before I was able to return from abroad, Rel would be reunited with his family. This partnership had become emancipatory in the truest sense of the word. Now that Rel is out, his partnership with Drexel continues. He is now a graduate student on his way to earning a master's degree in creative writing at Drexel. As a fellow at the Lindy Center, he co-taught with me criminal law, teaching students that the law is more than just words on a page. In the classroom, Rel has shed light on how the criminal legal system functions in practice and how the history of the US penal system continues to reverberate to the present day. So for example, when we examine how after abolition of slavery, prisons became slavery by another name through the practice of convict leasing, Rel is able to link that history to his lived experience of working for 19 cents per hour to produce goods for the state. Building from our co-authored article, Rel and I are also working to build a new genre of legal scholarship that Provost Jensen mentioned, called participatory law scholarship. This is legal scholarship written with people like Rel, who have no formal training in the law, but rather expertise in law's function and dysfunction through lived experience. Next month at Columbia Law School, we will be launching an initiative to support authors of PLS, as I call it, through training and financial support. I truly believe that we are inspiring a movement, a new generation of scholars that connect theory and practice to solve the world's greatest challenges. Our collaboration, which is changing the face of legal scholarship and education, would only be possible at an institution where community engagement is more than just a tagline. It is truly Drexel-made. And at a time when we as a human species are facing some of the biggest challenges to date, I believe that collaboration and leadership like this is what the world needs most. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Lopez. It's now my pleasure to introduce our second keynote speaker. Monica Harmon is Assistant Clinical Professor of Undergraduate Nursing, Executive Director of the CNHP Community Wellness Hub, and Interim College of Nursing and Health Professions Services Director at the Stephen and Sandra Scheller 11th Street Family Health Services Clinic. So you know she's Drexel. She has 3 jobs. Her work with marginalized populations as a public health nurse, which earned her the designation of a 2022 top nurse by Aldea, recognizes the many ways in which social determinants of health manifest in chronic disease. Please welcome Professor Harmon.
Thank you, President Fry, Provost Jensen, and colleagues from the College of Nursing and Health Professions, and those assembled here today for allowing me to share a few words about myself, my passions, and the impact of the community-based healthcare work we are doing at Drexel University. I am a public health nurse, educator, researcher, and administrator. And I want to tell you about the full circle which I find myself. I grew up in the shadows of University City in West Philadelphia. The very spot where we are today was once called the Black Bottom, and home to my family in the 1950s and 60s, and hundreds of other families who were later displaced as part of the urban renewal plans leading to the expansion of West Philadelphia and University City. While I did not grow up in the Black Bottom, my life is forever shaped by the stories and experiences of those who did. These stories were simultaneously distressing yet inspiring. As a child of both a Liberian immigrant and a native Philadelphian, I saw both sides of the university, the one that gives and lifts through education and service, and the other as perceived by those on the outskirts as an institution that acquires without regard for those affected by its progress. As a child, I was deemed intellectually gifted. That designation allowed me to participate in enrichment programs such as ones offered by the Academy of Natural Sciences, now a Drexel institution, and others for youth interested in science-based careers. As a child, I also saw firsthand how the catastrophes of the MOVE bombing and the crack cocaine and HIV/AIDS epidemics disproportionately affected the community I grew up in. I learned that place matters with health, which led and inspired me to pursue a career in community-engaged healthcare. Today, I find myself planted at Drexel University in roles that I never saw for myself as a little West Philly girl. I am running in a relay to advance the work of two giants in community-engaged nursing, Dr. Loretta Sweet-Jamont, Vice President of Health. She's right here. Vice President of Health and Health Equity in the College of Nursing and Health Professions, and creator of the CNHP Community Wellness Hub at the Dornsife Center for Neighborhood Partnerships, and Dr. Patricia Garrity, Professor Emeritus and creator of the Stephen and Sandra Scheller 11th Street Family Health Services. These nurses and their teams listen to the voices of the community to cultivate centers that address their healthcare needs. The baton in that relay has been passed to me in my role as Executive Director of the CNHP Community Wellness Hub and the Interim CNHP Services Director of the Stephen and Sandra Scheller 11th Street Family Health Services. What better setting for a public health nurse educator, researcher, and administrator to build upon the knowledge and skills learned across a career, and as a Dornsife School of Public Health alumna. And I am just getting started. Through our work, we partner daily with community members, staff, students, and faculty to connect and provide preventative health care, health services, and health education programming to the West and North Philadelphia communities while tackling the historical and social factors hindering health equity. So let me tell you about Mr. Jackson. He is one of the people we are helping. Two colleagues, Rachel Lopez, whom you just heard from, and Stephanie Dornbosch from the Community Lawyering Clinic at the Dornsife Center, which the Klein School of Law oversees, were working with Mr. Jackson and asked if I could help him navigate the health system. I met Mr. Jackson after he was incarcerated for 54 years. I was struck by how someone who spent so much time behind bars suddenly had to adjust to the world outside of prison walls. He grew up in Mantua, and the area had changed significantly in the more than 5 decades he was in prison. After he finished in the lawyering clinic, he would stop by to talk with me in the hub. He was typically very stoic when we first met. Over time, he would let his guard down. I assessed his healthcare needs, and through our talks, ensured he was connected to the appropriate health services. I learned he was staying near 11th Street and was having difficulty adjusting to life on the outside. It was overwhelming to him. I told him about the services at 11th Street, including primary care, dental, physical, and creative arts therapies, behavioral health, and nutrition. I told him that talking with someone could help as he worked through the feelings he was experiencing. Sometime later, when he stopped by again, he told me he was struggling and had increased anxiety about sharing his story with law students. Then, one day, I saw Mr. Jackson at a community dinner at the Dornsife Center. Mr. Jackson would not normally do that. But he was there enjoying himself And during the dinner, I asked him how he was doing, and with a twinkle in his eye, he said, "I'm talking to someone, and I like it." And he went on further to say, "You said it would be all right, and it is." So Mr. Jackson was alive and enjoying life fully for the first time in decades. He now likes talking to the law classes and attending the Hub's health education programming at the Dornsife Center. Quality of life and gains in socio-emotional health result from listening to community voices to guide our care. This results from our commitment and investment in our community and what we do at Drexel, at 11th Street, and at the Community Wellness Hub. That is also what we teach our students. Last winter, Dr. Jamaat, I, and several colleagues in partnership with Mainline Health and Calvary Baptist Church taught a course called Community Engagement, Listening to Community Voices to Promote Health Equity. Students from different disciplines in the Pannoni Honors College took the class and learned a 12-step community outreach and engagement technique developed by Dr. Jamaat. The students listened to community leaders and then went out into the community to hear from residents and learn about their health care needs. One student, a psychology major, remarked at the end of the course, "Doing people-based work changed my idea of what community engagement can be. This type of work can have such an impact on a community." She and the other students understood what my colleagues and I wanted them to learn. They learned that this work is about people and communities are made up of people, and we need to engage with them thoughtfully. Community-engaged work prepares students to address local and global challenges, perform interdisciplinary research, and encourages the inclusivity of our internal and external partners. We are making inroads. The Hub recently held 2 separate events, a men's breakfast and a women's breakfast at the Dornsife Center. Each event combined for an attendance of 100 people. Residents from mostly Mantua and Powelton Village attended, and they revealed things that they normally kept in their families, such as dealing with cancer, sarcoidosis, mental health, and other conditions. We learned about their needs and told them we plan to offer programs based on what they expressed. It was so powerful. Many thanked us for hosting the breakfast and urged us to let them know about any other events we hold. That is connecting with our community and comes because of investing in our community. These are just examples of what we do in the classroom and in the communities surrounding the Community Wellness Hub and 11th Street. Increasingly, community members ask us to continue this work and to do more of it. This work is critically important for the future of healthcare and educating nurses, other health professionals, researchers, and those in other disciplines involved in healthcare and community wellness. This work is critically important to Drexel University's future as we all work together to heal, unite, and bridge with the community. The faculty, staff, and students of Drexel and Dornsife make that happen and make a difference in the lives of those we interact with, serve, and educate by providing our health services and health education programs at 11th Street and the Community Wellness Hub. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Harmon. Finally, I'm pleased to introduce Alex Ashley. Alex is a second-year PhD student in chemical and biological engineering. As an undergraduate at Lafayette College, he was the recipient of numerous awards, including the George Wharton Pepper Prize, the most prestigious award given to a graduating student. As a member of Dr. Jason Baxter's research group, Alex collaborates with other research groups across the country, working to improve the performance and reduce the cost of solar technology while lessening global energy demand on fossil fuels. Let's welcome Alex to the podium.
When I say great, you say Ness. Great? Yes. Great? Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Esteemed members of the Drexel University community, it is an absolute honor to stand before you today as a representative of the vibrant tapestry of talents, aspirations, and passions that define our university. Today, I have the privilege of sharing my own journey, one that has been deeply intertwined with Drexel's commitment to excellence and innovation. Let me start by taking you back in time. It was 2007 in Linstead, Jamaica. I was 8 years old, and my mother sat me down for the first time to warn me about enjoying the outdoors while visiting my grandparents who lived deeper in the parts of the country. She told me that many households relied on stolen electricity that ran in hidden live wires throughout the area, and as such, it was not safe for me to wander around. You're too fast for your own good. Do, Alex, ma beg you, no follow your friend them and going on a bush, she said, expressing her fear of leaving me with my grandparents, knowing full well my compulsion for adventure and hoped that I would listen. In hindsight, this warning was very much warranted because I used to love going into the bush with my cousins to climb trees, to get fruits, and if they dared me, I have to do it. Hashtag peer pressure is real. Even though I was always a curious child, I actually listened to my mother and heeded her warnings. However, I carried with me the awareness that electricity was a scarce and expensive commodity where I grew up. Over time, that awareness became an interest that I nurtured into a desire to harness solar technology to make electricity accessible to all. Accessible to all, Alex? Isn't that a little too ambitious? Maybe, but this desire is what led me to Drexel and allowed me to be speaking to you right now. You know what they say, ambition can't wait. Inspired by this objective, I came to Drexel to pursue a PhD researching the world of solar energy and solar cells. Even though the sun's energy is abundant, the best of our solar cells right now only convert about 22 to 25% of the sun's rays into usable electricity. About 25%. With a goal of increasing the usable energy captured, my research investigates why these solar cells don't perform as well as they should by exploring how electricity is created and lost within the solar cell. Additionally, I work with a special type of solar cell that offers a sustainable and more cost-effective alternative to, and ambitiously, the replacement of traditional fossil fuels. But I'm not doing this alone, of course. It was the pioneering work of Dr. Jason Baxter in the College of Engineering that caught my attention and led me to Drexel University. His groundbreaking research in ultra-fast spectroscopy, which is just the fancy way of saying how we study the solar cells, really resonated with me. And so, as an undergraduate student at Lafayette College, I took the bold step of reaching out to him in the hopes of working with him as a summer research experience. Did I know who Jason Baxter was? No, I did not. But I thought, what do I have to lose? As they say at Lafayette, Kurnan. The worst he could say is no, in which case I would just pursue other options. But if he says yes, then I'm one step closer to achieving my dream. To my surprise, he responded, which is more than I can say for the literal 100 plus faculty that I cold called across the globe, and he welcomed me into his lab. It was this summer experience that cemented my decision to pursue my PhD here at Drexel, as I had found my path to helping combat climate change and making clean energy. Since then, it has really been quite the journey. Drexel's environment has been instrumental in enabling my research and personal growth. As I begin my second year at Drexel, I want to share a few things I've learned and what I see as values that we as an institution should continue to uphold. First, Drexel's commitment to addressing societal challenges has been inspiring. The university's creation of the Environmental Collaboratory and of a climate action plan reflect a dedication to sustainability and climate change activism. Moreover, Drexel's role in hosting the first local conference of youth, which is a forum for young leaders to contribute to international climate initiatives, speaks volumes about our institution's global engagement. Let's not forget to mention that Drexel hosted the annual Junior Solar Sprint just this summer, which is a high-energy event in which middle school students from across the region raced their model solar cars. Yes, solar cars. It was through volunteering at this event that I learned that this has been ongoing for over a decade and has helped inspire over hundreds of students in the area to pursue careers in science, technology, and clean energy. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are also paramount to our university's identity and mission. Drexel has made progress in fostering a more diverse and inclusive community, but we cannot rest on our laurels. It falls upon us as members of this academic community to champion DEI efforts in our research, our classrooms, and our daily interactions. Through holding various positions on... Thank you. Through holding various positions on DEI boards and committees, I can indeed say that Drexel's commitment is evident, but still there is always room to grow. Collaboration is the lifeblood of academic success, and the spirit of collaboration and interdisciplinary research are central to Drexel's identity. This unique strength has greatly enriched my academic experience. The Chemical and Biological Engineering Department, in particular, embodies the essence of a collaborative research environment. I found a supportive and familial community here where help is always at hand when needed. As students, we must actively seek out opportunities to collaborate across departments, colleges, and with external partners, for it is through collaboration that we can address complex societal challenges with innovative solutions. Addressing these challenges is not just an opportunity, but also a responsibility for us dragons. Our university's commitment to experiential learning and civic engagement sets us apart. As the next generation of leaders, we can leverage our research and expertise to tackle real problems and make a meaningful impact on society. Healthy faculty-student relationships are the cornerstone of this work and our academic journey. You, our professors, are not only our educators, you are our mentors, our guides, and our sources of inspiration. As undergraduate and graduate students, let us actively engage with our mentors, seek their guidance, and build meaningful relationships that foster our growth and development. And in turn, let us strive to be the kind of students who inspire our faculty with our dedication and enthusiasm. As an educator and student myself, I know that teaching and learning are more fulfilling once a trust and connection has been established. So search for these connections and yes, network. Building community within our university is essential for our collective success. Our campus is a vibrant ecosystem of knowledge, creativity, and talent, and there's a whole lot of talent here. As students, we can contribute to this community by actively participating in student organizations, volunteering, and supporting initiatives that enhances campus life. Outside of my department, I yearned for a community of students with similar Caribbean backgrounds to mine, and through actively searching, I discovered the West Indian Student Establishment, otherwise known as WISE. Big up WISE every time. WISE provides a space for individuals like myself on campus where we can listen to our music, dance, and communicate in our own language. This year, I am serving on the board because I wanted to get more involved with this community on campus. So I challenge you to find things that you are passionate about and work towards making them better and available on campus. Even more so, I implore you to step out of your comfort zone, put your name out there, and take on new challenges. To envision a great goal is to expect great challenges. And the more challenges you encounter and overcome, the closer you are to achieving greatness. My personal odyssey at Drexel University has been a testament to the power of collaboration, the strength of support, and the shared commitment to address the world's most formidable challenges. As I stand before you today, I am not only filled with hope for my own aspirations, but more importantly, for the collective ambitions of our entire Drexel community. We are purpose-driven professionals, agents of change, and innovators poised to make an indelible impact on our world. Together, we breathe life into the very spirit of Drexel, and together we shall forge a future brighter than we can envision today. So, let us wholeheartedly embrace our dreams and aspirations. Together in unity and purpose, we can indeed achieve greatness. Thank you.
You guys all fired up, ready to go now? How about another round of applause for our three outstanding speakers? That's great. You guys are great. The remarks we heard today reinforce the potential of Drexel's unique approach to experiential learning, civic engagement, and interdisciplinary research to positively influence society where it's needed most, and to change the lives of individuals and communities. Truly inspiring to hear from these guys. One more round of applause. So thank you all for joining us in the Mandel Theater today. It was a real pleasure. I want to extend one last welcome to our new and continuing students, our trustees, faculty, and professional staff. As we close our ceremony, please rise and remain standing as Grand Marshal Ana Diaz-Rue retires the mace and the stage party leaves the theater. We wish you all the best in this academic year. Thank you.